Picture this. You're sitting in a leather chair, softer than your bed at home, flying at 600 miles per hour, sipping sparkling water while streaming Netflix on a 55-inch TV, all while the rest of the world cramps into economy, fighting over the last packet of pretzels. Now, imagine owning the ultimate billionaire toy, a private jet worth $78 million. And not just any jet. This one belongs to Elon Musk, the man who wants to colonize Mars, builds rocket ships for fun, and tweets things that can shake the stock market in seconds. But here's the question. What exactly is inside Elon Musk's private flying palace? And how does it stack up against the jets of other billionaires like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates? Buckle up, because today, we're going inside the world of billionaire aviation, and trust me, it's a wild ride. First stop, Elon Musk's 78 million Gulfstream G700. This isn't just a plane, this is a statement, a moving fortress of technology and luxury, designed to keep one of the busiest men on earth working, resting, and let's be real, flexing, all at 40,000 feet in the sky. Let's break it down. Kit. Elon's toy of choice is the Gulfstream G700, Gulfstream's flagship business jet. It has a price tag that could buy, let's see, an entire neighborhood of mansions, a fleet of Lamborghinis, or if you're Elon, enough Dogecoin to tank Twitter again. The G700 is the latest and greatest in the Gulfstream family. This isn't the cramped little Learjet you see in old movies. This thing is a flying penthouse suite. Range, over 7,500 nautical miles. Translation, it can fly from Los Angeles to Beijing without stopping. Speed, nearly Mach 0.935. That's just a hair under the speed of sound. Not rocket fast by Elon standards. But let's be honest, this is as close as commercial jets get. Cabin size, the largest in the business jet world. Gulfstream calls it the tallest, widest, longest cabin out there. In simple terms, more legroom than an NBA player could ever dream of. And the inside? Oh man, this is where it gets good. Musk's G700 can be customized into 5 different living zones. Think about that. Zones? Like you're building a luxury video game mansion. One area can be a dining room, another a bedroom, another a private office. And all of it wrapped in handcrafted leather, polished wood, and lighting that adjusts to your body's circadian rhythm so you don't even feel jet lag. Yes. While we mortals are begging for that one working USB port on a Delta flight, Elon Musk is flying in a jet that literally tricks his brain into thinking time zones don't exist. Now because it's Elon, people imagine this jet has secret rocket thrusters or maybe a hidden Tesla charging station in the galley. Spoiler, it doesn't, at least not yet. But what it does have is a crew rest area, a full conference space, and depending on configuration, a king-sized bed. Yes, a legit king-sized bed. You could sprawl out, order sushi mid-air, and still have room left to pace around while thinking about colonizing Mars. One of the coolest things, the windows. The G700 has 20 of the largest windows in the private jet market. That means Elon gets these massive cinematic views of Earth, whether he's flying over Texas, Tokyo, or Tesla's Gigafactory in Germany. And because Gulfstream loves showing off, they added a feature called the Symmetry Flight Deck. It's basically the Tesla autopilot version of aviation, touchscreen displays, active control side sticks, and more automation than most airlines. This jet practically flies itself, while Elon relaxes in back, probably tweeting something about Doge. Now you might be thinking, wait, isn't Elon always talking about saving the planet? Solar panels, EVs, rockets that are fully reusable? Yup. And yet, his Gulfstream burns through thousands of gallons of jet fuel every flight. The irony isn't lost on people, and trust me, Twitter is quick to point it out. But here's the thing. Elon's lifestyle demands speed, efficiency, and flexibility. And if you're running Tesla, SpaceX, the boring company, Neuralink, and well, let's not even get started on Twitter. You're not exactly standing in line for TSA checks. But here's the big question. Is Musk's Gulfstream really the king of billionaire jets? Or are there others flying even more outrageous sky palaces? To find out, we've got to peek at the fleets of some of his rivals, starting with Jeff Bezos, the other guy aiming for space supremacy. So we've seen Elon Musk's Gulfstream, the G700, the jet that looks like a spaceship but drinks fuel like a frat boy on spring break. But what about the other side of the billionaire space race? Enter Jeff Bezos, the man who turned selling books online into a trillion-dollar empire and somehow found time to cosplay as a space cowboy in a cowboy hat after Blue Origin launches. Bezos' plane of choice? The Gulfstream G650ER. Price tag, around $65 million. Now some people might say, wait, Elon's jet is newer, bigger, more advanced, and they'd be right. But let's be clear, the G650ER is no slouch. In fact, until the G700 arrived, it was the crown jewel of the Gulfstream fleet. The ER stands for extended range. This bird can fly over 7,500 nautical miles, which is basically take off in Seattle, fly to Dubai, and still have gas in the tank. It's one of the longest range business jets ever built. And Bezos owns not one but two of them, because when you're worth over 150 billion, apparently one isn't enough. And here's the kicker, Bezos doesn't just buy jets, he treats them like chess pieces in a corporate empire. His G650ERs are often used by Amazon execs, his family, and even occasionally loaned out for business missions. Imagine sending your VP of marketing to a meeting on a 65 million jet. That's not business travel, that's flexing. So, what's inside the Bezos bird? Think understated luxury. Where Musk's jet feels like a tech-forward spaceship, Bezos's G650ER is more about quiet power, leather seating for up to 18 passengers, convertible lie-flat beds, and of course, the full array of Gulfstream tech, high-speed Wi-Fi, satellite comms, and even low cabin altitude to reduce fatigue. And let's be real, Jeff Bezos is not about to show up wrinkled to a shareholder meeting. This plane is built to keep him fresh, sharp, and looking like the guy who can casually buy an NFL team if he feels like it. Now, let's not forget, Bezos is also the guy who once spent 500 million recovering Apollo rocket engines from the ocean floor just for fun. So yes, a 65 million jet is basically pocket change to him. For perspective, it's like you or me buying a new laptop on sale. Alright, now let's pivot. Because not every billionaire jet story is about flexing, some are about irony. Enter Bill Gates, the man who told us all to worry about climate change, warned about pandemics, and still, somehow, couldn't resist joining the billionaire jet club. Bill Gates' aircraft of choice is also the Gulfstream G650ER. Yes, the same model Bezos loves. He reportedly owns at least one personally, and through his private investment company Cascade Investment, has access to a small fleet. The cost? Again, around 65 million each. Now here's the twist. Gates has publicly spoken out about the dangers of private jet emissions. He's been called out countless times for flying private while preaching sustainability. His response? He claims he offsets his carbon footprint by investing in clean energy projects. Which, fair enough, but let's be honest. It's hard to preach do as I say, not as I fly. So what's inside the Gates jet? Think efficiency over flash. Gates is not the type to fill his cabin with gold-plated sinks or champagne fountains. Instead, his G650ER is thought to be tailored for work on the move, communications gear, private office space, and of course, the kind of comfort that lets you land in Davos after a 9-hour flight looking ready to debate global economics on stage. And unlike Bezos or Musk, Gates is less about showing off and more about function. His jet is basically the billionaire version of a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Powerful, efficient but not exactly sexy. Still, when you're Bill Gates, you don't need sexy. You just need something that gets you from Seattle to Geneva without layovers. But here's the thing, Musk, Bezos, Gates, these are just the poster boys. Behind the scenes, there are billionaires flying in jets so outrageous, so over the top, they make even the Gulfstreams look humble. We're talking flying palaces with showers, dining rooms, even garages for luxury cars. We're going to pull back the curtain on those monsters of the sky and see just how insane billionaire aviation can really get. So far, we've looked at Gulfstreams, sleek, efficient billionaire status symbols. But what happens when a billionaire decides a Gulfstream just isn't enough? What happens when the toy needs to be bigger? Enter Roman Abramovich, Russian billionaire, former Chelsea Football Club owner, and the man who said, "Forget private jets, I want a flying palace." Abramovich's private aircraft is a Boeing 767-33 AER, nicknamed the Bandit because of its distinctive black paint around the cockpit windows. Originally designed to carry hundreds of passengers as a commercial airliner, Abramovich gutted it and rebuilt the interior into something out of a royal palace. Price tag? Estimates range between 170 million and 250 million. That's over 3 times the cost of Musk's Gulfstream. So what's inside? Forget 5 living zones. This thing has multiple bedrooms, a banquet hall that can seat 30 guests, and an anti-missile defense system. Yes, you heard that right. Abramovich's jet is basically a flying fortress. While most of us hope for in-flight Wi-Fi that doesn't crash, Abramovich is flying in an aircraft that can literally dodge rockets. And let's not forget the dining room. This isn't a fold-out tray table with a cup of ginger ale. This is a full-blown dining hall, polished wood, gold trim, and seats that probably cost more than a new Tesla. Imagine eating caviar at 40,000 feet, with a staff serving courses like you're at a Michelin star restaurant, while flying faster than a speeding bullet. So, what does this all tell us? Elon Musk's Gulfstream G700, Jeff Bezos' G650ER, Bill Gates' efficient flying office, and Roman Abramovich's airborne fortress, these jets aren't just planes, they're symbols. They represent how billionaires see themselves: innovators, empire builders, pragmatists, or power players. They're also reminders of the sheer scale of wealth at play here. While most of us save for years just to take one vacation in economy, these men are crisscrossing the globe in airborne penthouses that cost more than sports stadiums. And whether you love them or hate them, one thing's for sure, billionaire jets aren't going anywhere. If anything, they're getting bigger, faster, and even more outrageous. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of billionaire aviation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps us bring you more stories that pull back the curtain on the lives of the super rich. And if you really want to keep the journey going, check out our video on the top 10 most expensive yachts in the world. Because trust me, if you thought their jets were wild, wait until you see what these billionaires are sailing on. Thanks for watching.